IT. Alrighty then. The season finale of Prestige Season 10 is about to end. We have one more race to go, and this is the one, Australia. The race, the upside down country, where summer is winter and winter is summer. And usually Australia is the beginning, is the track that begins the season, but in this universe, it is the finale of the season. And yeah, we've got an exciting championship battle as well. Last race, McCluskey and Marco were fighting it out. Neither of them had great races, but in the end, Lassie finished third, and Marco got 0 points after the race, and in the sprint as well he lost points, scoring. Where the hell is he? Being P2, was Lassie was first, and so for the finale of the championship in Australia, Lassie leads Marco by 13 points going into Australia. Now, maybe I heard something that Lassie could have a quali ban, but that I can't confirm that at all. Anyways. So yeah. Okay. McCluskey has a Q3 ban. Seems like. Yeah. Seems like he has a Q3 ban, so it's not bad for him. No, it's not completely opposite everything. It's just that the season finale is in Australia, whilst usually the finale takes in Brazil, Abu Dhabi, most of the times, whilst in here, yeah, I mean, it is like that. It is like that. They are literally in the morning at the moment, or soon to be in the morning, in the times where the Australian people get up. Most of the Australian people get up, and we are in the evening. So, yeah. Hello, Dragon, as well. But yeah, 13-point difference between Marco and McCluskey. McCluskey has a Q3 ban though. So if Marco is going to qualify to Q1 and through Q1 and Q2, then in Q3, then unless he's not going to set a time and he's going to get disqualified, then he should be in front of McCluskey. But he still needs that 13-point gap over McCluskey. Marco would have to win the Grand Prix. I'll get that in a second. The rest of the grid, like you mentioned there, Dragon. Yeah. Marco would need to get. Well, if he would finish P1, then McCluskey would need to be P5. This is not with the count back like wins, since I don't really know that. So yeah. Then if second, well, Marco needs to be in the top 3 minimum. He needs to be in the top 3. If he's not in the top 3, then his championship is done. If he's P3, then McCluskey can be P10. He needs to be P10 then, for Marco to win the championship. In second, if Marco is going to finish second, 18 points, then McCluskey would need to be in P8. P8. Yeah, P8. He would need to be P8 or lower. Whilst first, then McCluskey would need to be 5th. So, honestly, for McCluskey, he needs to be in the top 3 minute at least. Top 3 to then win the championship. Of course, there's going to be then fastest laps and all that, but if McCluskey can finish in 4th with a fastest lap, then he's going to definitely win the championship. But without the fast lap, and Marco's going to take that fast lap, then Marco is going to win the championship. Either way, we're going to see a champion today anyways. Ibrahim out on track on the mediums. We have Pimerada out on track on the intermediates. Marco as well out on track on the intermediates. Tsunami out on track on the softs. Advent, not too much action, of course. Back into the standings. Tig 5 points in front of Steps and Dragon. Tom 9 points behind, so there is a massive battle as well for that P3 spot. 4 drivers within just 9 points. Tig has the upper advantage, but there's still all to play for everyone. Then it's Shaz in 7th with 78, Oli 67, Jakey 63, Ozan 56, Firefist 54, Olaf 48, Alfie 38, Niklas 35, Mankan 27, Ibrahim 25, TNMR 18, Roggy 17, Washi 12, and Martin still in 6 points. Let's just go with Ibrahim on his lap, 26.801 in the background at least for the lap. For the constructors, it's still wide open for the constructors for all, well, not for all, but for 4 constructors. We have Mercedes in the lead with 233 points, Ferrari second with 226 points, Red Bull third with 217, and Haas in 4th with 203 points. So all of those constructors can win the championship in here. Mercedes has the upper hand, 9 points over Ferrari, then 16 points over Red Bull, and then 30 points over Haas. Further back, Alpine 5th with 161, then V Corp 6th with 153, Williams 149, Sauber 119, McLaren 100, and Aston Martin 99. So there's as well in the bottom battle to not finish last, basically. And yeah, that's the constructors and the overall standings. Tsunami went fastest, as expected from softs compared to the mediums. 16.285 for Tsunami, and Ibrahim 17.083 on his mediums. Anyone on a flying lap soon to finish their lap? Rob bins it. Rob, he manages to get going. Rob manages to get going after losing the car through the chicanes, or the corners through 9 and 10. Fortunately, and 9 and 10, 11, 12, 15, yeah. Quinton goes third, 17.378. Yeah, Marco fourth, 19.989. On the Inters, anyone else? Rob finishing his lap after, nearly getting crashed out. Going 5th, 130.840. Pimerado going into the pits. Hudson is gonna finish his time in the Sauber. Yeah, he's gonna finish the time. As well, fully open. And Hutton is going to cross the line to go 4th, and 17.947 behind him. And Alpine, is he finishing some? Yes, it is. That's Tom going second, 16.557. TNRM goes second, 16.318 on the mediums as well. And behind that is Steps, finishing his time on the inters, and he goes 8th, 21.676. Then it is Haas going into the pits. Ibrahim is not... Let's see if he's going to finish his time. Martin is as well finishing his time. And what's it going to be? A 16.785, so in front of Ibrahim as well, unless Ibrahim improves. He does improve on his time, but not a position. He's still 2/10 down behind Martin. Rob improves on his time massively, 16.302. Tsunami still staying in the lead, but he has done his lap on the soft, so of course he's gonna have few tens in his hands already. Whilst Rob and TNRM are gonna be still finding those few tens throughout their laps on the softs, which are gonna be coming on later on, or unless they're gonna stay with those times. Jake going into the pits. Behind him there's one of the Williamses. That is TNRM going into the pits too. Then behind him there's a Red Bull of Steps going into the pits. Then an Alpine, that's Tom, going into the pits too. Then it's Roggy starting his lap. Then the two McLarens who probably won't be on their laps. I mean, Ibrahim has plenty of ERS, so he might actually start another lap. Yes, he is going to start another lap. Behind them there's probably Rob, yes, but he's going to go into the pits too. Niklas probably going into the pits too, unless he's going to start another lap. No, he won't, since he doesn't even have enough fuel. Ibrahim has started his lap. Roggy through the first sector, turn 3, and into turn number 4. And then into turn 5. This first sector, what's it going to be at 26.456 for Roggy. Through the second, or into the second sector, through turn 7. And then on this long straight, DR straight there, starts the DRS. And then into 9 and 10, what's it going to be? Second sector, 43.973, a bit wide initially into turn 9, but into turn 10, with the grips of these cars in this game, it's almost easy flat out in qualifying at least. Or at least in time trial. And then into the third sector, it's a bit twisty. Into the penultimate corner, and then into the final corner. You don't want to lose the car here. It's very easy to lose the car. He doesn't lose the car, and Roggy, is he gonna go fastest? No, there he goes. Yes, he is fastest by 15 thousandths in front of Tsunami, 16.270. A bit of lag there to register the time actually, but he goes fastest at the moment in Q1. 15,000 in front of Tsunami. Womax joined, but we saw that there's no space, so he left. Behind, it's going to be Pimeralda starting his lap. Then, who is then going to be, I mean, Dragon is finishing his time on the inters, but that's on the inters. Hudson then is going to start his lap. Then it is going to be Shaz who's going to be finishing his time. It looks like it is going to be slower than Roggy. Where is he going to go? He's going to go P7, 16.704 for Shaz. That's a little over half a tenth. And as Marco goes that half a tenth faster than Roggy, 15.786. The Quali Merchant is back. And yeah, that is almost half a tenth in front of Roggy. On the mediums as well, so there is at least few tens as well in that lap. Lassie has started his lap, as he has abandoned it as well. Pimeralda second sector, 44.320, so just about a tenth faster to the second sector than Shaz about. Into the third sector, into the penultimate corner, and out into the final corner. Yet again, you don't want to lose your rear there, but as well you want to be on the limit of that. And Pimeralda, where is he going to go? He's going to go in P3, 16.277. It's very close between Rocky Pimarada, Tsunami, Rob, and TNRM. It is 5 drivers in just 600ths of a second. It's matter how close these 5 drivers are. Then there is a massive a cliff of a gap to Marco, and then behind it's less of a cliff. It's a hill difference to Tom, 2/10. Then Shaz going into the pits. Jake, where's he's invalidated his lap, and it seems like he's invalidated this and next lap, so his lap is done at the moment. MCFC is going to start his lap. Behind there's a McLaren starting a lap as well. Then behind it's going to be another McLaren starting a lap. Then it's going to be Tig starting a lap. If that's going to be Hudson, then is gonna soon finish his time. He still has his 3rd sector. No, he's not going to finish his time. He has no fuel. He's not even using ERS. Oh, he's done with his time. McCluskey, 43.944. Didn't he? I swear to God, he abandoned his lap. Or was it that quick? Did the time go that quickly that he abandoned his lap? Then I was looking over some other people, and then all of a sudden, bang! We are looking at him finishing his time through the finish line, and he does go fastest, 15.591, 2/10 faster than Marco, but of course he did his time on the medium, so Marco still has time to find from the softs. Haas finishing his time. That's MCF. No, that's actually Quinton starting a lap. Then it is going to be MCFC finishing his time, and it is going to be a 18.627. There's going to be McLaren his time, but technically he doesn't. He wasn't on lap, I guess. Yeah. Anyways, Tig goes 3rd. 15.981. Very good time by Tig. Of course, he's one of the drivers that need to. Well, he is fighting for that third position, and is going to be trying to win the constructors as well for Ferrari. The other Ferrari either has binned it on the exit of turn 1 going into turn 2. Probably binned it. But for Sesta, that is a lap done. Even though Sesta, I don't think he was that quick, but every single hand is gonna matter. Especially that, well, there's a fight for the constructors. It's a very tight one between Haas, Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull. It's a 4-way fight for the constructors, and it's a 2-way fight for the Drivers' Championship. Tick going very slowly in here, very slowly, sort of unnecessarily, seems like, in my books. Anyways, Dragon has started his lap. Then it says TNRM who's going to start his lap. Is there anyone else? Tsunami has started his lap. Quinton invalidated his lap. So let's just go with Dragon, since he's the furthest one to be on the lap. Behind him, it seems like Shaz is as well on the lap, so we might as well look at him. Dragon through the first sector, of course, it is going to have an improvement since his previous lap was on the inters, 26.757. So it's a decent first sector. Second sector, of course, it's just a massive straight, so here the low downforce bit is going to be crucial. Second sector 44.378, so a good second sector as well. And he's invalidated on the exit of that chicane. Yeah, it's so close, because as well the line that determines if you have invalidated your time or not is the yellow line, not the white line. So it's a little bit off from those curves, which can be a bit annoying. But it is what it is. Meanwhile, behind him, Shaz is going for a lap, taking the slipstream from the Red Bull, and Shaz goes lovely P4, 16-5-2. In front of Rocky, in front of Pimeralda, in front of Tsunami, who did their times on the softer tire. At the moment, with just about 2 minutes to go. In the qualifying, we have Dragon down in 17th, Steps as well down in 18th, MCFC down in 16th, Jake in 19th, and Sesta down in 20th. Dragon might be in a bit of trouble since it doesn't seem like he has enough fuel to start another lap. Steps, in the meantime, is on a flyer. Same with some other drivers. Tsunami not on a flyer. Rob has a retired. TNRM not on a flyer. Tom is on a flyer. First sector, what's it gonna be? Ok. Ok. I guess it kicked him out. So he's done with his time. He's in P10. Steps, he is improving. 44.548. This time on the exit of turn 10, he doesn't invalidate like his teammates. Dragon, how much fuel does he have? It's gonna be close. He's gonna be down on fuel, but it is on low mode. Steps through turn 13 into turn 14 and then into 15. The final corner, a bit slow. DRS open, ERS as well, and Steps. Where is he gonna finish his time? Where is he gonna finish? In P15, 17.178. That's not a good spot at all for Steps. He could be out of qualifying here in Q1. The two McLarens need to do their times as well. Tsunami is done with his qualifying. MCFC has started his lap as well. Quinton is gonna start his lap as well. Behind Jake is as well gonna start his lap. The furthest one to be on the lap is TNRM. Through turn 13 into then turn 14. And then into 15, but he loses on the exit of the penultimate corner. His lap is done, but he could be as well easily into Q2 at the moment. Dragon is down on fuel. He's up on his side, but he's down on fuel. He's going to be down on power through this final straight, and it might not be enough with that down on power. It's not gonna be enough. No, 16th only for Dragon, just missing that extra bit of fuel, that little power. Hudson stays in 17th. MFC, he is up on his time. Jake is as well on a lap. Sesta is done with his time. Let's look at MCFC in front, or actually let's look at the two McLarens. Martin is done with his time, but he's gonna be safe. Ibrahim needs, or at least at the moment, Martin is safe. Ibrahim, Advent is safe, but still he has in front a, was that MFC? Yes, that was an MFC. Going into the pits wall, it seems. Ibrahim safe in P8 at the moment. Steps could be out of qualifying unless Jake is gonna bottle this lap up through this final two corners. Being a bit cautious in here, but he might be on a good lap. Now just run down to the finish line, and where is Jake gonna finish his time? P15, 17.166, 12 thousandths in front of Steps. Just about manages to get himself into Q2. But the drama for the two Red Bulls is that they are fighting for the constructors, and they are out of Q1 in 16th and 17th. A disaster for the Austrian brand that is originally from Thailand. Anyways, the two Red Bulls are done with their qualifying, and we're not gonna get results, I guess. But yeah, it was McCluskey fastest, Marco second, Tick third, Sesta, MCFC, Hudson, and then the two Red Bulls of Steps, and then Dragon out of qualifying. Yeah, lovely. We didn't get the results. At least it was Q1 and not Q2, Q3. Hopefully they can bounce back. But on this track is a massive DRS train, so DRS train on this game is a massive issue. DRS training is a massive issue in here, so yeah. With 4 DRS traits, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. To be fair, it is a good debut, Quinten. It is a good debut. Of course, equal cars, then probably. I mean, of course, you made it into Q2. Good. Then, now you're gonna be at least minimum 15th, and then from there you can work yourself up. Of course, if you finish P13, then there's a good chance that you're not gonna be 15th. If you make it into Q3, then you're not gonna be 10th, because last year's gonna be 10th. At least from what I understand. Someone has binned it into turn 3, that is Tsunami. Off track, on the gravel. Rejoining the track safely, at least. Of course, no impeding on anyone since it's the first minute of qualifying of Q2. No one on a lap. Just everyone that is out on track is on their out laps. But of course, going into someone would be very suboptimal. Very suboptimal. Just a little hint. It would be bad. Going into someone, even though everyone is on their L laps, would be not good. In front though, TNRM is going to start his lap. The first one to start their lap on the soft tire behind it's Quinten, who's going to try and take the slipstream from TNRM. TNRM starts his lap, Quinten as well starts his lap. Then it's going to be Pimarada starting his lap. Then it is going to be Ibrahim. Then Tsunami. And then it is going to be Druggy, and then so on. Rob is going to start his lap on the mediums. Quinten as well on the mediums. Let's go with TNRM on his lap. Since he's the first sector, it's going to be 26.677. Decent to the first sector. Here, quick, but he invalidates through turn 7. And he's done with his time right there. That is a very easy place to invalidate your time. That is a very easy place. That is such a quick corner. And the margins for error are so little. Quinten has as well invalidated his time, so he's done. Pimarada has as well invalidated his time. There's going Ibrahim, who is not invalidated his time. 44.069, but as I said that, he has invalidated his time. So... then we're no, Rocky has as well invalidated his time. Everyone is invalidating their times. Apparently, Rob has as well invalidated his time. Lovely. Has Martin? No, Martin hasn't yet invalidated his time. Into this chicane, almost invalidates. Going into turn 9, that was so on the limit. Almost invalidates there. Marco is on the lap as well. He hasn't invalidated yet. Tsunami hasn't invalidated, which I failed to see. It's Tsunami fastest 16.654. We're gonna see now if Martin can beat that. Marco is gonna beat that unless he invalidates it. I don't. He hasn't invalidated. Martin into the finish line, and is he gonna beat that time? No, he's in 17.139. And Marco, where is he gonna go? Well, what time is he gonna set? 15.487. The fastest qualifying time that we have seen at the moment overall, combining Q1 and Q2. Marco has gone fastest overall and in Q2 as well. 15.487. Almost 1.2 seconds in front of Tsunami. Then Jake goes fourth, 17.337. Then behind it's going to be a lot of drivers maybe doing their second laps, maybe doing another round of laps. Roggy, no, he's not on a lap. Then we have a V-Carb going straight on. Shaz has invalidated his time. Rob has gone straight on, like I said, into the gravel trap. And, well, if he was trying to set a lap, then he's done with his time, it seems like. Marco as well is not doing a lap. Martin as well. Lassie on an out lap. Quinten as well out on an out lap. Pimerada the same. And McCluskey is the furthest one out of them three to be on an out lap. TNRM has as well come out a bit on the mediums. Jake is trying another. No, he's not going to be going for another lap. So I guess we can go with McCluskey. On his flying lap, his championship rival Marco has gone fastest overall as well, combining Q1 and Q2. And so let's go with a full lap on his onboard. Of course, drivers have to be reminded that the track limits are the yellow lines, not the white lines. But it is very difficult to stay. A bit of a slide on the exit of turn 3 into turn 4, just being a little unsettled after that slide. Into turn 5, a bit better. First sector 26.734, not a good first sector probably for his standards after he lost the rear. And into the second sector now, this massive straight. Here the second sector is pretty much just only if you have low downforce. Second sector 44.505, and now into these corners you can take them pretty much flat out, but McCluskey has caught those chicanes, that second bit of that chicane, too much, and he has invalidated his time right then. Quinten 26.681, doing a bit better than McCluskey through the second sector to this massive straight. And his second sector, what's it gonna be at 44.482 through these corners, a bit wide into the first bit. Second bit's a bit better, but he lost a little bit too much time through that first bit. Going into turn 12, hard braking zone, and into turn 13, 14, and then it's going into 15. What's it gonna be behind Tsunami? Going a bit slow, it seems like. Quinten is gonna finish his time. He's gonna put a lap on the board, and where's he gonna go? P3 16.900 behind an Aston Martin. Rogge starts taking a lap. Pimerada though is gonna finish his time to go up as a P3 16.81 681. Tsunami behind starts a lap. Then it is gonna be TNRM finishing his lap on the mediums, and he goes second, 16.072. Tsunami did his first lap on the softs, so I don't think he's gonna gain much on this lap. McCluskey on a lap. Yes, it seems like he's pushing 40. He literally had a McLaren in front of him spinning. Could have been Ibrahim. I almost lose it on the exit of the final corner. Probably a bit of distraction from the McLaren still. And McCluskey goes third, 16.519. You might be asking, what the hell? How is that distraction? Well, you're still thinking that about that incident going into the following corners. You're trying to, of course, focus on your current lap, but you're still a bit. You have that in your mind. Rogge is finishing his time, and where's he gonna finish his time? P2 55 15.777. Very good time by Rogge. 3/10 behind Marco. Tsunami, is he gonna improve his time? Yes, he does actually on the mediums. 16.114. Very good time by Tsunami. McCluskey probably has a lot to improve on that lap. Oh, probably is a bit of misunderstanding. TNRM has binned it. TNRM has binned it on the exit of the final corner. And so it means TNRM is out of qualifying right then. Minor Shaz goes fourth, 16.1. And he's going to be out of qualifying going into Q3, even if he's going to actually qualify for it, if he's going to be P10, he's out of the rest parts of the qualifying. And, well, the maximum place that he can finish is going to be P10. Jake improves his time to go P8, 16.711. Behind Rogge is going to go probably into the pits. Yeah, Tig is going to start his lap. Rob has started his lap. Yes, started his lap. Behind it's going to be then Tsunami on an in lap. Shaz on an in lap. Martin on an in-lap probably. Yeah, it is I'm gonna be on an in-lap. Jake on an in-lap. Rob failed to see what his first sector is. Tig has started his first flying lap of Q2 as well. To be fair, TNRM could be in P10. And so in Q3 there's gonna be only 3 people. Rob to the second sector, 43.788. Very good second sector by Rob. He's cooking at the moment through that second sector, but of course second sector is just only a massive straight. But yeah, Rob through the turn 13, 14 now, and into 15. It's too close to the right hand side. You would want to open up the corner as much as possible, but Rob is going to finish this time. And where is he going to go? P3's 15.788, 3,000 behind Roggy. Probably that's not opening the corner as much as possible through the final corner. Probably costed him those few extra, well, hundreds even of seconds. Meanwhile, Pimarada starts his lap. Tig is going to finish his time, and where's he gonna finish his time, Tig? 15s? Yes, it is 15s. 15.876 for Tig. Very good time as well for Tig. Even though Tig had like 4 tenths slower second sector than Rob. Rob probably just lost a lot of time to that third sector. Maybe due to downforce with his setup or something else. Maybe a mistake as well, but Tig within a tenth of Rob. Pimarada second sector split. What's it gonna be? A 43 maybe? 44.149. Almost 4 tenths up on his time through the second sector. So at the moment he would be going right behind Shaz and Tsunami. But of course there is this third sector where you can gain a lot and lose a lot. His previous time was on a softs as well. So let's see, did he make a mistake somewhere? Or is he just gonna improve on this time, on his previous time, just by purely pace? Pimarada exiting the final corner into the finish line. And Pimarada, where is he gonna finish his time to go? P4, 15.817. 600 in front of Tig. Pimarada probably did his previous lap as well on the used tires, which probably most of the grid did. And so with almost 2 minutes to go in Q2, he's in P4 and in safe hands of getting in. McCluskey has to do a lap, and he's on a lap, 1,000 of a second up on his time. But of course there's this third sector where he lost probably a load of time, since he might have not had the ERS. He hits the grass on the inside of the corner, sliding into turn 12. And that means his lap, at the moment he has abandoned the lap, he could be in trouble in here. He could end up the same like Dragon. He's gonna try and make another lap with the limited amount of ERS and taking the slipstream from the car in front, which is Tom, who has started his lap at the moment, but he's abandoned the lap. Tom has abandoned the lap. For some reason, Microsing host Shaz has left the session. And that's not me leaving the session, thankfully. But Lassie is going to... has... well, pretty much no one in front of him. McCluskey through the first sector. 500 up on his time. He just needs to nail the lap. He needs to do a 16-0, in my opinion, to stay inside of Q3. To be in front of our teammate TNRM, to gain that one position. I mean, in front, Jake is causing yellow flags for some reason. Lassie, 9,000 down on his time, so it's almost exactly the same like the previous lap. Lassie, into this turn 12. Don't hit the grass on the outside. No, he doesn't. And now, just cruise to the finish line. Just cruise to the finish line. Turn number 14, the penultimate corner, and into turn 15, the final corner. There is open. Can he improve a decently amount on his lap? Yes, he can. 16-0, what I said, is in P6. Tsunami has well improved on his time, but he stays 7, 16-0, 4-0. Tom is gonna finish his time. Niklas is done with his qualifying, down in 15 with no time. Tom has just managed to start a new lap. Quinten, what's his lap gonna be? Might have been distracted or impeded by Niklas, but Quinten, is gonna make it into Q3? Yes, he does, into P9, 16.359. At the moment, he's in Q3, but the two McLarens can still spoil the party for him. Martin is done with his time. Ibrahim is gonna try and take the slipstream from his teammates, and is in. He's in P8, 16.123, and Quinten is out of Q3. Jake, he's still on a lap. Tom is still on a lap. Jake, can he improve a 16.139 by Shaz? There's a lot of time to gain from his previous time, and Jake is gonna able to make it into Q3. Yes, no, he can't. He can't. 15 thousandths down on Shaz. Tom, can he go into Q3? 16.139 is the time to beat, and Tom, no, he can't. Stays 14 with 16.540. And it is Shaz somehow in Q3. And with TNRM's time of 16.072 still being there, it is only 9 drivers in Q3, which is going to benefit McCluskey. But yeah, the drivers who we won't be able to see in Q3 are TNRM, who crashed out earlier in qualifying, Jake P11, Quinten P12, Martin P13, Tom P14, and Thomas in P15. Purple second sector can mean... purple second sector can just mean that you have a very low downforce setup as well. Of course, then there's that one corner, the fast right-hander, turn 7, where you can gain time and lose time, but that's like Abu Dhabi first sector or Austria first sector. It's literally just one corner, and so yeah, it can be just your downforce levels. You might just run a very low downforce setup, but like I said, only 9 drivers in Q3 since TNRM decided to bend it. McCluskey still don't have 100% confirmation. Does he have a Q3 ban? Maybe we might see in Q3, but minimum he can get is P9, which isn't bad. It's better than 10th. But in P9 he's going to be on the outside into turn 1. But then as well he's not going to be taken out, like he's on the inside and someone doesn't see him. But then he can't actually attack into turn 1. But honestly, with the 13-point gap between McCluskey and Marco, McCluskey has everything to lose in here. Marco doesn't really have that much to lose. Like I said, only 9 people because TNRM decided to bin it in Q2. Basically, he crashed out in Q2, and with that, your car is, well, not racing in Q3. Then the car is, you can't repair it in just that little time if you have completely crashed your car into the side of a wall, which honestly it's one of the somehow realistic aspects of this game. Somehow a realistic aspect. Anyways, in Q3, Pimrada is going to start a lap. Behind him it's going to be Tig, then Tsunami, and then it is going to be Rob starting his lap, and then later on it's going to be Marco starting a lap. McCluskey has retired, so there we go. We have the confirmation of a Q3 ban. Pimrada already invalidates his lap through turns 1 and 2. Tig, has he invalidated? No, he hasn't. Thankfully so. The next car to be on a lap is Tig. Pimrada might run a lap just for Delta, but we are going to be focusing on Tig at the moment. Tig's first sector 26, 3, 2, 1 for Tig. Very good first sector for Tig. For Tsunami 26, 5, 7, 3. For Rob, first sector 26, 2, 7, 3. So Rob at the moment is the fastest out of those three. Then Tig, second sector, what's it going to be at 44.003 by Tig. He almost loses it on the exit of turn 9. Tsunami 44.274. Rob through the third sector, what's it going to be at 43.735. So Rob is absolutely flying to that third sector, but yet again, he might just have a very low downforce setup, which he might lose some time through the third sector. Tig is the first one to finish their lap legally. And actually, who is going to finish their lap? Tig through the finish line. Tig is going to go fastest, of course, 16.169. Tsunami should go slower than Tig. Yes, he does 16.644. And Rob should go faster than Tig. Yes, he does 15.768. That is exactly 4 tenths between Tig and Rob. But there we go. Actually, Marco has invalidated his time. Ooh, it's gonna be a bit spicy here for Marco. Does he decide to run on a U set, which would be, in my thoughts, would be a very wise choice. You still have time to do a lap. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad choice to just try and do a lap now. Of course, it will be a very bit close with timing, as Rocky has started his lap a bit sideways into turn number 1. But yeah, at the moment it will be a bit on the... well, the time would be running out a bit. Marco, is he going out on pits? It might seem that he's trying to run out exit. Yes, he is. He's exiting the pits. He's exiting the pits, so he's trying to set a lap on used or new. We'll see. Froggy on a lap, still hasn't validated through the first sector into the second sector. What's his second sector gonna be? It's gonna be a 43 or 44. 43.791. So Ruggy is as well doing a very good lap. As of right now, he should be close with Rob on the after this third sector, but of course he can bin this, or he can just absolutely blow away this third sector and go 1.5 tenths to 2 tenths faster than Rob. Ruggy through the two final corners, through the final corner, and now to the runway, to the finish line. To the finish line. Ruggy is gonna go fastest, 15.497. This is what I talked about. He could just absolutely smash Rob's time, and he does smash that time almost 3 tenths, 2.5 tenths faster than Rob. And Ruggy Advent is of course on provisional pole position. Pimaralda has started his lap, doesn't bin his lap through the first sector immediately. Marco is gonna be starting his lap soon, but at the moment Ruggy that could be just about behind Marco's time in Q2. That could be. And I think that is actually. Pimaralda to the first sector, 26.438. So he might be running used set of tires. As of right now, Marco has started his lap. Pimaralda, second sector. What's his second sector gonna be? Ruggy, 43.791 to the second sector. Pimaralda, 44.320, so he's running used sets. Definitely almost a 6-cent gap between Pimaralda and Ruggy there. Marco, first sector, what's his first sector gonna be at? 26.308, so he's doing a very good first sector as well, but he might be running as well a used set. Pimaralda and Marco are gonna be going into their second and the final sector splits at the same time. Let's just see Pimaralda's time. What's it gonna be at? 16.135, and he goes third. Marco, second sector. He's binned it! Marco's binned it again! This time by spinning through the second sector. He had a good second sector as well. 43.8 was it something? 8.5 I believe. So his time was as well a very good one if he was on the used tires. But if they were new, then he's a bit screwed in here. Hello, Reggie. Good to see you as well. In here. But at the moment, Marco is gonna have that one lap pressure on his hands. Through Q1 and Q2, he did his laps cleanly on his first run, I think. Now, in Q3, he's failed to do 2 laps in a row. One by invalidation, second one by spinning through turns 9 and 10. And as of right now, he's actually behind McCluskey. And McCluskey is serving at a Q3 ban. So, this will be somewhat awkward, I guess. Anticlimactic. I believe. Yeah, I think so. And, yeah. No one out on track. Shaz is back in. Finally. Let's just see if anyone is gonna be going out on track like this. Fans are clapping. They're they're just there. By the way, I love the guy that is just completely ignoring that is he's not even looking at the track. He's literally looking at his apartments, whatever it is, the flipping balcony. He's just ignoring the things that are happening. Every single one is forwards looking at the track. Whilst in here, well, nah, I'm not gonna watch the race, even though I paid an expensive ticket for the weekend. Almost 2 minutes to go in this qualifying, and the drivers are going out right now. Rocky out on track first. Then we have plenty of drivers leaving. We have Ibrahim. We have Shaz out on track. Yeah, he might have seen some food. Then we have Marco out on track. We have Pimarada. We have Tig. Rob and Tsunami. At the moment, they're not coming out of pits. Okay, there we go. The Sauber. Yeah, Sauber out on track. Rob still staying inside. Okay, there we go. He's left it very close to the end. It's gonna be close for him to start the lap. He's not gonna have much time in like trying to warm up the tires. He's gonna have to go pretty quick on his lap, on his out lap. Tsunami won't have as big of a stress for that, but Rob might catch up to him behind. So that might be a bit of an issue. But yeah, Lassie, of course, the only one in the pits. And so we have 8 drivers out on track. Everyone that's good. And Roggy should start the lap first. And he's going to start the lap first. Then it's going to be Marco. Then it's going to be Ibrahim. Then it is going to be Shaz. Then Pimarada, Tig, Tsunami. And then we'll see if Rob is actually going to be... if he's going to actually go into... Well, if he's going to able to finish the to start the lap. Roggy adjoins on provisional pole position. But of course, Marco, Shaz and Ibrahim haven't set their times. Most notably, Marco hasn't set his time, which he's doing right behind him. Behind Roggy. Roggy, to the first sector, is he improving? Yes, he is by 81 thousandths. Marco, second sector, pretty much equal to Roggy's. Very close between these two. Roggy, now, through the second sector, of course, and this is a massive straight. Rob did manage to start his lap. Roggy, 2.5 tenths down his time. It's a bit of worrying for Roggy there. Marco hasn't invalidated yet through on his lap. Ruggie through the third sector. Can he gain a bit of time through this third sector? He doesn't have much ERS. He's going to be trying to just push a lot on this lap, but he just a bit of oversteer through that final corners. And now with the DRS, Ruggie, can he improve on his time? Doesn't look like it. No, he doesn't. Marco, is he going to go provisional pole position? Yes, he does. 15.330. Ibrahim goes fast. 15.985. Shaz, 16.165. Tig, can he go faster? Second sector faster. Second P2 for Tig. 15.432. Massive lap by Tig. Still 10th behind Marco. Tsunami, 3/10 up on his time through the second sector. Can he improve a bit more to go in front of Shaz? Maybe Pimrada. Pimrada done with his time. Tsunami goes 5th. 15.78 to Robcat. Could he improve on his time a bit more? He can, but he stays 4th. And with Pimrada staying with his time of 16.135, it is Marco yet again on pole position here in Australia for the race that he really needed, that pole position. He has done it. Of course, with the race, it's going to be a massive question mark for him, but in terms of qualifying, he has done what he needed on pole position. Tig, big P2 for him. Then it's Ruggie, and then it was Rob. Well, we're going to see then what was the order, but I believe it was Tsunami then 5th. Yeah, it was Tsunami, then Ibrahim, Pimrada 7th, 16.135. Couldn't finish his lap, and then Shazan P8, 16.165. McCluskey P9, but still better than P10 for him. But of course, a bit of a disappointment to see, well, not a good thing to see his championship rival in P1. And if the race would finish like this, Marco P1, McCluskey P9, Marco would be the champion. Without any countback or anything, just on purely points. That would be 23 points gained for Marco, and that would be a 10 points difference between Marco and Tig Lassie. And now into the final race of the season that's going to decide, is it going to be Marco or is it going to be Lassie? Ruggie has left the session. That is terrible for Ruggie. That is very terrible for Ruggie. He's in P3, which is a very good position, but at the moment he's getting screwed by the game. He still has a formation lap to join in, so he still has a little bit of time. I don't have him added, so I can't add him. I can't add him back, unfortunately. But hopefully he has still a invite from Shaz or whoever he got the invite, probably Shaz. Yeah, hopefully he's gonna join back in quickly. That's the first time that I see actually crash some Ruggie. Okay, well, I don't have you added, so I can't add you back. Unless you're gonna add me, aka whilst I'm F1, then I can't add you. I cannot do anything with you. Anyways, let's go back to our usual. Most of the grid on the mediums, besides 3 at the back, it is Nicholas, Dragon, and MCFC on the hard compound tire. The rest, like I said, on the mediums. And yeah, in terms of strategy, medium hard mediums, of course. Pretty standard. From the hards, you could maybe think about softs, but the walls are close, so risk of a safety car could be a big one. The walls are close, so safety car can happen. There could be a safety car. Rocky has joined back in, so he's not gonna lose much from the race, luckily. If he can get back in on this formation lap, then actually nothing. Of course, a bit of distraction there. He's gonna have to get back in quickly with the starting procedure and all that, but still, if he can't get into the car immediately, then he's gonna lose a couple of places, hopefully, through the first couple of corners. Ooh la la, there we have already someone massively cambered. That is TNRM. He's already trying. He's gonna try and take out Jake immediately on the start, it seems. Behind Ibrahim and Pimerada, Mr. Crit Spots, as well as Niklas. And then the final car of Alfie Hudson going into the pits, into the grid spot. And then we're gonna have 5 red lights right now, which there are gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Let's get lights out now. And we go here in the final race of the season. Marco doesn't get a good start. Tig is still there, but he does get a good enough start to stay in P1 as of right now. McCluskey behind, already up into P7. Beautiful start by McCluskey. But for the championship, he still needs to gain up a few positions. In front though, Tig still behind Marco. He's still staying behind. Ruggie, well, he doesn't lose that many places. He's fighting Ibrahim into turn 5, and he only loses 1 position to Rob, which is pretty impressive with these circumstances for him. Very good that he lost only 1 position and not more. Rob up into P3, meanwhile behind Hudson and MCFC are fighting for P18. The same with Dragon and Niklas. Dragon, Thomas and MCFC all on hards. P16, 17 and 18. In front of Tiggs, trying to go for it for the race lead, but just doesn't have the run into turn 12. And Tig has to stay behind. Of course, Marco wants to run with Tig. He wants to run with Tig. He needs to run away with Tig with the DRS, so that McCluskey is going to have this, well, the worst possible chances for the championship. Meanwhile, behind Shaz and Tsunami had their little bit of contact. Shaz, it was argued that he pushed off Tsunami. Tsunami down in 10th. Shaz in 7th. Lassie up into 6th. He is doing absolutely magnificent. 4 places, actually 3 places on the start from P9 up into P6. McCluskey is doing his usual masterclass. Meanwhile, from the Tig and Marco, they have run away from Rob's 1 second, so they are doing what they wanted, and especially Marco. He needs to run away with Tig. This is his best scenario, because then McCluskey just cannot stay with Marco. He has then the lowest chances of fighting with Marco. Rob needs to gain back to that DRS. He won't have the DRS for the next race, since this is a double detection zone. He probably lost a little bit of time through that mistake, but it actually doesn't. He's still at 9.5 tenths close to Marco. Meanwhile, behind Niklas overtakes Steps. Lassie still in P6, bit too far to try and think of Ibrahim. Rob, 1.5 seconds. Rob is really struggling out here. It seems he seems like he's struggling the same with Marco with race pace. Ruggie is going for it on the start finish straight up at the P3, and yellow's behind. That is Niklas, who problems for Niklas on the exit of the final corner, fronting damage for him, so he must have lost to turns 1 and 2. Might be the rear wing damage for him. May not behind as well. Yellows, no, they're not yellows, but TNRM has lost places to Pimerada and Tsunami. Tsunami back into P8. Pimerada still in P9. Ruggie still doesn't have the DRS on Marco. Ruggie low on ERS, whilst these two still have good amounts of ERS in their tanks. So the plan for Marco is going well. Of course, it would have been best to have 4 drivers up in there. Martin 3-second time penalty. For Marco, would have been the best to actually have four drivers up in there. But Lassie making moves. He's going for it. He's fully going for it. The 2 V-cars go side by side into the turn 13. It's not good places, but Rob loses the rear going into turn 14. Loses a lot more places. And he's down in 9th. He's inside of TNRM, but he doesn't have the run. And TNRM goes through Rob. Literally. Rig and Marco side by side going into turn 3. Marco in front. Cessna getting a 3-second time penalty. Niklas going into the pits. Meanwhile, Yellow's behind. That is Jake dropping behind Quinten. Niklas retiring early on in the race, probably rear-wing damage, and maybe as well just like typical rage quit from him. But anyways, back into the race. Rob down in 10th. He's lost a place to Tsunami, so Rob is really struggling in the race. Not the usual. McCluskey though in 5th. This is what he needs to do. Just needs to keep it in P5 for now, and he's gonna be good. Dragon and Steps meanwhile behind, fighting for that P15, but it probably was just a position change. These two really need to try and work together, especially Martin and Tom side by side on into turn 12. Quinten has lost it on the exit of turn 12, and so Tom is right up Quinten's ass, and Tom didn't even get Quinten, but he does get the DRS from him. Meanwhile in front, Tig and Marco casual, or the usual switching places. Meanwhile behind, Shaz and McCluskey side by side into turn 1, and Shaz is in front of McCluskey. McCluskey has a lot to lose, like I said in here, with this pack that he's in. Cesta in the meantime retires in the pit, so that's the points that Ferrari were trying to get extra maybe are gone. 2 drivers out of the race like that. Rogge almost inside of that 1 second of Marco. Marco, is he gonna overtake Tig? It seems like he is gonna overtake Tig. Tig is just trying to work together with Marco, but it just doesn't seem like that it's gonna be working as much. McCluskey still needs, well, I don't know, he really needs to get in front of all the 3 cars in front. Yellow's behind. That's TNRM. That's TNRM spawn on the exit of turn 10. He has binned it, and he's down in P17. Does he have fronting damage? Doesn't seem like he has fronting damage. No, it doesn't seem like it, at least from our point of view. He might have maybe rear wing damage, maybe side pod damage, something damage. But anyways, he might have damage that we don't see. Ibrahim, does he have the DRS? Yes, he has the DRS still, just about. Rogge is still trying to catch up to Tig and Marco. These are still trying to work together. They're still trying to work together, but Rogge is right behind, trying to take the advantage. TNRM crashes. No, in the pits. It seems like he's in the pit. Done it again. Rogge won't get the DRS once again. Just that few tenths. Just those few tenths behind Marco and Tig. Just those few tenths that he's missing. Meanwhile, behind him, he has pulled away from Ibrahim. Ibrahim won't have the DRS, and so he's going to get overtaken by Shaz and by McCluskey. It seems like, yes, he does get overtaken by McCluskey as well. So McCluskey up to P5, right behind Shaz. But of course, he needs to work with Shaz. Martin gets another 3-second time penalty, so he's going to have a bit of a headache with those penalties. Lassie in P5. 1 car in front more. He's going to try and finish that P3 at least. Of course, fastest lap would be the ideal thing as well in P4. Advent Tig has the fastest lap, behind MCFC, causing yellow flags. In front, Tig and Mark are still working together. Rogge, the gap to the 2 cars in front has gotten bigger, so I guess his pace has run out, or maybe he's given up on that and trying to focus on the race behind him. Quinten getting a 3-second time penalty as well. MCFC binning it on the exit of the final corner, and that's a VSC deployed on lap 7 out of 29. And it is a VSC. Hudson losing a lot of time as well here, but MCFC out of the Grand Prix, our first proper retirement, or DNF, since he has binned it. Up behind, there's some sort of confusion, seems like. There's a bit of carbon fiber laying on the track. DRS has been enabled, so that... there is still yellows. Okay, it seems like that we're fully back in racing. Shaz has overtaken Rogge. He has caught him off, but he's gotten yellow flags. He had an illegal overtake, and he might lose a position to Lossi now. He doesn't, but those extended yellow flags that were in the meantime, Martin loses it. Chance to lose the position to give up the position to Rocky, but now gets him into turn number 1 back. And so he's back into P3. McCluskey, he might have to go for it. He might have to send it into turn number 3. Start with Rocky, but he's still behind him. Just can't get the run on Rocky. Is right behind Rocky. Is he gonna try and get him into the chicane? He sees that he's flashing. He's trying to go around the outside, but Rocky is still there on the inside, and Rocky retakes his position, defends his position very nicely, and he's still in P4. And doesn't have the DRS on Shaz somehow. Seemed like. At least he didn't use it. And he's still in P4. Marco and Tig are still exchanging places. This is ideal for well, the positions at the end are not ideal, but the way that the race is going is somewhat ideal. Of course, not ideal that Lossi is in contention for the P3 early on. Pimrada trying to attack Ibrahim, but just can't get him. Might have to try and go for it at some point. Behind Quinton goes into the pits early on lap 7. At the moment, not that much action in the race. But there's still a long way to go. Lap 9 out of 29. Still a long way to go. At the moment, 18 compared to 10. Lossi is in a championship winning position as of right now. You might not know that Marco wasn't in second, but now he's in first. Lossi is going to try and get Rocky, but Rocky still has the run. Rocky might have to go for an overtake on Shaz. No, he doesn't. He stays behind Shaz. And maybe into turn 12, he might have to overtake him. Lossi's close behind, but he's not going for it. He's still staying behind. Martin getting another 3-second time penalty. Every 3 laps, he's getting a penalty. So he's... I mean, he's not doing well with the penalties at all. Meanwhile, behind... Tom and Jake are fighting for the P10, the final points paying position, and Tom is in front. In front, Ibrahim and Shaz go for the early pit stops. They're going for a very big undercut in here. Rocky still has a DRS from Shaz, but on the next DRS detection point, he might lose the DRS. Lose the position to Rocky. Shaz and Ibrahim, of course, going for the heart. And they're gonna try and go until the end. Until the end, and try. I mean, it's gonna be very easy, but it's just that they're gonna try and get the undercut, the effective undercut. McCluskey is using a bit of his DRS. He's, of course, gonna have the DRS. And he's gonna try and overtake Rocky into turn number 9. It seems like that Rocky is just letting him through. And Lossi is up to P3. And he needs to stay there. This P3 is allowing him to be Marco wherever he wants to be. P1, P2, it's gonna be done. Meanwhile, behind Quinton, bins it through turn 5. Meanwhile, behind as well, Rocky bins it into turn 12. And he drops it behind Pimrada and 1.2 seconds behind Pimrada as well. Taker goes into the pits. McCluskey goes into the pits. Pimrada goes into the pits. Rocky stays... goes into the pits, goes for the double stack actually, which might be actually more costly for him. Marco takes officially takes the lead of the Grand Prix, and he's not going to lose it. Rob P2, Tsunami P3, Jake P4, but that's just all because they didn't pit. Dragon as well, P5. Steps is going to rejoin right in between Tig and Shaz. Tig in front of Shaz still. But the gap is, 1 second, it seems like. But Steps is in between, and he's going to be going a bit slower than Shaz. Well, actually a lot slower. He might not have the DRS, which actually would be a good thing for Shaz. Through turn 7. Is he going to have the DRS? He could have gotten. He might have gotten the DRS, so Steps is not going to give that position back easily, but Shaz is in front of Steps, and he's up to P7. Jake 3 seconds. Pimrada overtaking McCluskey, who is going to get overtaken by Ibrahim as well into turn 9. And McCluskey loses 2 positions like that. Yellow's behind, that's Quinton once again, causing Yellow's Hudson as well, 3-second time penalty. Marco going into the pits finally. Rob going into the pits as well. Jake's going to stay out. Tsunami going into the pits. Dragon, of course, on the hards is going to stay out. Steps might have to pit now. No, he's still staying out. Tig and Shaz are in a good spot. Shaz got the DRS. And Marco, where is he going to rejoin? He's going to rejoin behind Shaz as well. Now, this is not a good position for Marco, and he's going to lose a bit of time on this run into turn 3. He might actually lose the DRS on Shaz. He could lose the DRS. The gap is getting bigger. Of course, Shaz, this would be ideal for Shaz. Marco's trying to get that DRS back, and he will get that DRS back. Unless Marco's gonna do a mistake here, but he doesn't. And so he's back into that DRS that he needed. Behind Lossie, not in a good position. He pitted the same lap like Shaz. Actually, no, he pitted the same like Tig. Anyways, Pimrada in front of Ibrahim, who is in front of Steps, but Ibrahim is trying to get back on Pimrada. And is he gonna get him into turn 12? Yes, he does. A bit of moving on the braking as well. McCluskey as well gets Steps. Look like Steps just let McCluskey through, but anyways. Jake goes into the pits. Dragon inherits the race lead from Jake. But Tig, Shaz and Marco are going to be close behind. McCluskey down in P7 at the moment. If the race would finish like this, after Dragon would pit, then it would be Tig in P1, Shaz P2, Marco P3, Ibrahim P4, Pimrada P5, and McCluskey in P6. It would mean McCluskey will be champion. Martin gets 10-second penalty and retires in the pits as well, so that's his race done. 19 seconds for Martin like that. Tig, it's not gonna have the DRS on Dragon, so he won't be able to get away from Shaz. Meanwhile, behind, Pimrada almost goes into the wall, or it even looked like that he went into a wall. McCluskey is going to try to attack Ibrahim as well, and he does it successfully, so he's up to P6 in front of Ibrahim. This is what he needed. And as well, now he's behind his countryman, Pimrada. And this is very important. Pimrada has been helping McCluskey very nicely in Brazil and in Abu Dhabi, I believe. Yeah, I think so. No, it was, sorry, Las Vegas. Anyways, up in front, Tig overtaking Dragon into turn 1. And then it's going to be Shaz who's going to try and overtake Dragon. Should be an easy move into turn 3 around that side. He doesn't have the DRS. And so Dragon in front of Shaz like that. And now Dragon could play a big role of Marco losing the DRS on Shaz and Tig. At times, Dragon still has good pace, so he's not dropped it so easily. And now Marco, he needs to get in front of Dragon very quickly. Dragon though has a lot of ERS, a lot more than Marco. In front, Shaz takes a little Grand Prix, but Marco, is he no, he's not thinking about an overtake whatsoever. He's not going for it. But now with the better exit, he might have to go for it. Yellow's behind that Quinton. And Marco, is he gonna be able to overtake? No, he won't. He's still staying behind Dragon. That's not good whatsoever. Meanwhile, back in behind. Oh, there we go. Marco in front of Dragon, but is that gonna lose him the DRS? No, it isn't. Actually, that was very close. I mean, the gap is 1.1. He still has a DRS. He got that through the detection point. But it could be close, Marco. It's gonna be close. Lossie, fastest lap, 18.078. This is the pace that Lossie needed. He's in front of Ibrahim, but Pimrada got overtaken by Ibrahim. So this is not the most ideal place for McCluskey. Although, to be fair, this is the most ideal as well. An ideal place since Marco is in P3, and he literally sees us in his leaderboard that Marco is in P3. So at the moment, Marco is not gonna win the championship. Pinrada 3-second time penalty. At the moment, that's gonna affect this race massively with a position. Tig overtaking Shaz, nice and easy. Marco still behind Shaz and Tig within that DRS. So for Marco, this is the most that he can do at the moment. McCluskey getting overtaken by Ibrahim, and is he gonna get overtaken by Pinrada? It doesn't seem like it. He's not overtaking McCluskey. He's not trying to go for it. He knows that his fellow Spaniard is going for the championship, and he knows that he needs those points. Dragon going into the pits finally, and so we're finally, every single driver has pitted that need it. McCluskey can finally see that Marco is still in P3, although he has caught up to Shaz and Tig a bit, so he might be able to fight once again for that race win. But McCluskey in a 5th at the moment is safe. If he would get into that, well, at the moment this is the ideal thing for Marco, because if he gets that race win, although actually no, because Lossi has the fastest lap. Lossi has the fastest lap, so he needs that P4 actually from Ibrahim, and that's gonna be the minimum that McCluskey needs. And on the straight, easily overtakes Ibrahim, and Ibrahim is gonna get overtaken by Pinrada as well, easily. And McCluskey is up to P4, and Lossi 4th, Marco 1st, would mean that 25 minus 13 would be 12, and the gap was 13 points. Let me just recheck that quickly. But if I remember right, the gap was 13 points, and so it is gonna be enough for the championship for McCluskey. That fastest lap is gonna give him the championship single-handedly. Yes, 188 points for Lossi, 175 for Marco. So 13 point gap, 25 minus 13, it is 12. So Lossi would win the championship by a singular point as of right now. Marco, well, he would need to pray for McCluskey to lose that fastest lap or lose that position. Jake has retired, not by retiring like crashing out, but just like that, by pressing of a button, and he's out of the Grand Prix. Probably a bit of a scare for Marco, because this is the position that he really needs to be. McCluskey still in 4th. Pinrada is doing a good job of defending him. Quintin, fastest lap. This is important. Quintin, fastest lap by just 16,000 mile behind. There is yellows. That's Roggy. That's Roggy, and that's Roggy out of the Grand Prix. Is that going to be a safety car? Doesn't seem like it. No, he's just retired it there by pressing of a button once again. Meanwhile, Pinrada in front of McCluskey. Of course, Pinrada would need... Well, McCluskey would need to take that P4 back. Of course, still, at the moment, Marco in P3, so they don't need to really worry about that whatsoever in terms of the championship with the fastest lap. But Marco, if he's gonna take that P1, then Lossi would need that P4, and then it is gonna be who has got more wins. And that is a thing that I don't know, unfortunately. This is a thing that I don't know, unfortunately. I do not know who has won more races, or who has got more P2s. So, yeah. If they do end up with the same exact amount of points, okay, I'm assuming that means Marco has got more wins, okay. By the way, how the fuck are you... How the hell are you typing whilst are you racing? What? Anyways, enough of the questions, I guess, for you, Shaz. Anyways, I guess Marco has more wins, so Marco would win on countback. So McCluskey really would need that one point one fastest lap point. Pimerada goes back in front of McCluskey. And, oh yeah, McCluskey would really need that 1 point. Or just Marco to lose the DRS to the cars in front. Or get a penalty. If Marco would get a penalty for the track limits, that would be huge. That would be massive. Quinton, yet another 3 seconds. Marco is trying to go for it on Shaz, on the back, on the straight. He's gonna try to go for it on Tig. Tig is gonna get overtaken by all three. No, he doesn't. Marco still staying behind Tig and Shaz. He just can't overtake these two. Shaz in the lead. Marco still staying in P3. Tig only losing 1 position somehow. It looked like Marco is gonna easily take on Tig, but no, Marco backed out of it like that. And so, at the moment, Marco is still in P3, and, well, he's still got plenty of laps to go. He's got 10 laps to go now, to the end of the Grand Prix. And, yeah, still, at the moment, McCluskey would take the race win. The championship, what I meant, not the race win. Of course, I don't... Yeah, winning from 4th, it would be a great achievement. Of course, the cars in front would need 5-second time penalties each. Actually, 5-second time penalties would be enough. Yes, it would be actually enough. 5-second time penalties for all 3 drivers in front. Marco might have a go once again. It's not catching up enough to Tig, but to Shaz, he might have a go. He could have a go into turn number 12. He could go for it. He's using his ERS. He's trying to go for it around the outside. And he's in front of him. Yes, he's in front of him. Marco up into P2. This is important for Marco because now he has an open overtake on Tig. But he has to keep that P2 for a long time. He's still got 9 laps to go to sort of keep this P2, or he might just have to risk it and play with the game. Basically, overtake Tig and risk it that he's gonna get double overtaked by Tig and Shaz. Lassie looks at this and he's not happy with this, but he's actually gaining time on Shaz and Marco at the moment. So, you know, could be still something. Could be still something of this. Lassie gains into this train. Shaz is right behind Marco. He's got plenty of ERS compared to Marco. Shaz 86% compared to Marco's only 30%. Tig at the similar amount like Tig. Marco was close behind Tig. Shaz, is he trying to go for it? Yes, he is. He's trying to go for it into the same corner that Marco overtook him. He's back at it 1 lap later. Marco trying to go for the switchback, but he just can't get the run on, and Shaz is back into P2. This is exactly the opposite that Marco needed now. Back into P3, he needs to recharge his ERS on these laps. He needs to save ERS, and then he needs to attack these two in front. But Shaz still has loads of ERS to play with. Tig is as well at the similar amounts of ERS like Marco. Pimerada in front of McCluskey, but this is just playing these two. They are just driving. Of course, Pimerada has the 3 seconds. So McCluskey would be P4 anyways, but this is more about the car behind, which is Ibrahim. Now, Tig, is it gonna get double overtaken by Marco as well? Shaz gets him easily. Marco, is he gonna go for it? Down inside, and yes, he does go up the inside. Marco, over to P2. And now Tig, of course, doesn't have the answer for it, unless he's gonna absolutely send it down inside. No, he doesn't send it down inside. And so Marco is in a good position. Tig, does he have loads of ERS? He's got a little bit more than Marco. Of course, Shaz has a lot more. Yellow's behind. That's for Hudson. No, that's actually Tsunami. That was for Tsunami. Hudson isn't here. And yeah, this is a good position for Marco. Shaz is trying to get away from these two, though. He's trying to get away from Marco. But it's gonna be probably a failed attempt, since the DRS is so powerful. He doesn't have ERS almost at all. Who has the fastest lap? It is... Wrong thing. It is Quinten who has the fastest lap by 16 thousandths. Yellow's behind. That is Quinten who has binned it. Ironically. Marco still in a good position. Still in a good position with 7 laps to go. Marco is gonna gain a lot of time to Shaz. Marob, 3-second time penalty. Pimerada overtakes McCloskey, but this is just playing between those two. Tig, is he gonna try to go for it on Marco? Up inside into turn 13 once again. And Marco is still there on the outside. Tig is still there. They're going side by side into turn number 13. This is suboptimal for Marco. They're gonna lose loads of time. This is good for Shaz. Tig in front of Marco. And so Marco yet again in a not good position. Once again, Tig has the DRS on Shaz. So Shaz is not going to be able to get away from Tig. Yet. The cars behind are gaining, though. The gap has gone from 4 seconds down to 3.0. McCloskey is going to overtake Pimerada. But the gap is just not going fast enough for these three to catch up to the cars in front. Marco, Tig, and Shaz. And so, yeah. Shaz, 3 seconds. This is important. This is crucial for the championship. This is going to be crucial for Marco. But this can be good for Lusty. He doesn't know this yet. Unless he has a friend who watches this race. But Quinten, yet another 3 seconds. If Tig is going to overtake Shaz, then, well, he's still not going to know because Pimerada has overtaken him. Tig, is he going to go for it? No, he doesn't. This is optimal for Marco. He's going to get P2 at the moment. If he overtakes Tig, then he's going to get P1. But he needs to work with them in front like hell. He needs to work with them like hell. Because the cars behind are gaining little by little. They are somewhat in that area. And if Shaz would bin it or lose time, half spin or something, to get Lusty into that 3 seconds, that would be a disaster for Marco. Even though if he's gonna win it, Lusty would get P3 at this rate. Would get P3 at this rate. Even though if Marco wins the race, Lusty would get the race win. The championship. Still would get the championship. Tig, of course, this with Shaz's penalty, Tig won't try and overtake Shaz so easily now. Tig overtakes Shaz. Marco the same. Was catching up though. He's catching up. Lusty now seizes that Shaz has the 3 seconds. So he'll see that he needs to activate the beast mode at the moment. He needs to activate that mode in his head, in his skills, and just go fully flat out. He needs to push like crazy to get himself into that 3 seconds of Shaz. At the moment, the gap is still going at about 4 seconds. It's still, well, actually not 4 seconds, it's 3.4. I accidentally looked at the gap from Shaz to Pimerada, but the gap is there. The gap is there for McCloskey. Ibrahim has lost it. Has lost the DRS to Pimerada. So, for Lusty, this is heaven at the moment, but he needs to work for it. He needs to work for that heaven at the moment. Marco could be in a bad position. This is good and bad for him. McCloskey, this is what he sort of needed, but as well, this is the same thing like for Marco. This is good and bad. Pimerada gets a 3 second yellows behind. That's Hudson. That's Hudson bidding it. He has broken his front wing, but it doesn't seem like that's going to cause a safety car. Safety car would be a disaster for Marco, of course, but it's going to be too late at the moment. Shaz Snog trying to overtake Tig. Marco as well behind, not trying to overtake. Lossie is just about outside of that 3 seconds. He's just outside of that 3 seconds. It's just outside. He's just outside of that. He is on the verge of getting himself provisional P3. Hudson has been it again into the pit lane. Is that going to be a safety car? It doesn't seem like it. Or a VSC. No, it isn't. Lossie, it seems like he's just about outside of that 3 seconds. He's just barely being in there. Hudson retires from the race. Lossie, if he could get that fastest lap somehow, would be absolutely heaven. He would finish P4 and then it would be done there. But of course, old hearts ain't gonna do it. He will need loads and loads of the DRS and loads of ERS to pull it off. Quinton, yet another 3 seconds. Tig in the lead, but Shaz doesn't seem like that he's gonna try to go for it. It's the same with Marco. He's still staying behind. McCluskey is gonna overtake Pinrada. He's trying to take that double DRS through here and for the next straight. Of course, he can't bin it. He can't take another penalty, or at all a penalty. Steps as well retires from the race. And at this pace as well, it's gonna look like Mercedes are gonna win the Constructors' Championship as well. Haas nowhere near. Red Bull as well. Only one car at the moment, and that is Dragon in P10. Tig in P1, but Shaz has a 3 seconds, and that ain't gonna do it for him. Lossie is inside of that 3 seconds at the moment. This is gonna be intense 2 laps for Lossie. There is a Red Bull in front of him that is gonna get away from his vision, and Lossie is within that 3 seconds. He is working for it. He is working his ass for that heaven that he needs, that he wants. Marco is still in P3, so this is good for McCluskey anyways. But if Marco would be in P1, this would be a whole lot different. But McCluskey is inside of that 3 seconds. It's 2.6 seconds, roughly about so. Marco, is he trying to go in front of Shaz? At the moment, it doesn't look like it. He's losing a bit of time in here. They're all losing a bit of time through this section. And Marco, is he gonna try to go for it for the attack on Shaz? Yes, he does. He's trying to go for it around the outside of turn 12. This is, of course, losing time for the cars in front. For these cars, this is beautiful for McCluskey. And Marco still behind Shaz. He just still can't find a recipe for an overtake. And now Tig is gonna start the final lap of the season, of the race here in Melbourne in Australia. Tig leading the way into turn 1. Ibrahim gets a 3 second time penalty, but we don't care about this. Lossie in a P5. Pinrod, of course, has a 3 second time penalty. He's gonna get overtaken by McCluskey as well, as these two have been working together all race long when they could. Marco, his only chance is a race win, but it's not gonna be even that. He needs to pray for McCluskey to get a 3 second time penalty, and that would be it. That would be it. Or Lossie as well, binning it. Shaz is gonna try to go for it for the race lead on track at least. Is he gonna get it? Yes, he is gonna get it. He's gonna get that race lead on track. McCluskey as well, P4, so that's crucial as well. This is good for Marco too. Rob, 3 second time penalty. The gap is gonna be focused. Well, actually, it's not gonna be focused yet because Tig is trying his best to defend from Marco. Marco realizes that he needs that position for P2, and is he gonna get it into turn number 13? Yes, he does get that gap, and Shaz is gonna win the Grand Prix on track. Marco is gonna get the win after penalty. No, he's not gonna get the win, and it doesn't matter. Marco wins the race. Actually, he doesn't actually win the race. Tig wins the race. Marco P2, and McCluskey takes the championship here in Australia after Shaz bins it on the exit of the final corner. Marco loses the race win on the line. Lossie wins the championship by somehow 10 points, even though it was looking like it's gonna be 3 or 1 point. It is 10 points in front of Marco. Lossie wins the championship here in Australia. Marco, who was lucky in Division 1 Las Vegas after Pimiralda. Controversial contact between himself and Dragon as well, Fozz's Lab. Pimiralda and Oli, controversial contact between them. Marco was gifted the win and the championship like that on the plate to the final corner. Doesn't get the double championship in Prestige and Division 1 by winning the Prestige and Division Drivers Championships. Only Division 1, McCluskey, new championship winner in Prestige. He has done it. The Spaniard has done it. The L plan has worked, or whatever the goddamn La Mission, or I don't know. Lassie has won the championship for Williams, or in a Williams. Mercedes is going to take the Constructors win as well, unless Marco is going to get a penalty. But even if McCluskey is going to get 5-second time penalties, a 5-second time penalty, McCluskey is going to still win the championship. Actually, if he's going to get even a 10-second time penalty, Lassie is going to win the championship because he's still over 10 seconds in front of Ibrahim, and even if he wouldn't have been 10 seconds in front of Ibrahim, he would have still won the championship in P5. Marco did his job what he could, but he couldn't even get the win. He couldn't even get the win on track. Tig wins the Australian Grand Prix. Marco P2, Lassie P4, P3, Pimiralda P4, Ibrahim P5, Tom P6. The rest is whatever. Mercedes Constructors champions, but they couldn't get the Drivers champion from their boy Marco. It has gone to Williams, to Spain, to McCluskey. Well done to Marco and McCluskey. The remontada got Marco, I guess. And so yeah, Lassie, new champion. And yeah, that was the season. That was champion season done. And yeah, that was it. The season is done. Of course, I don't have any sort of knowledge when is the next season is gonna start, or what the next round is gonna be, or if I'm gonna do Prestige or whatever, or I don't know. I'm gonna commentate. Shaz asked me that, and I'm gonna commentate. But one thing we know, actually two things, or actually three things. McCluskey has won the championship, Drivers' Championship. Mercedes wins the Constructors, and Shaz is a bottler. And see you in the next season in probably 2 weeks' time. The new season probably in 2 weeks' time. That was season 10 of Prestige, and see you y'all not next week like I said, but next time. Ciao.